Well, good evening on this Testimony Tuesday. My name is Brittany Francis, and if you're a guest tonight, I want to say welcome. This is a night that we get together as a family and we actually share about what is happening with the technology that we have our hands on throughout our organizations, with our friends, and with our family. And so Tuesdays are just specifically for us to share testimonies. That's it about the technology, about what is happening for each of our loved ones. And tonight, we're actually going to add about our fur animals because we have seen some incredible results over the last 20 months with our dogs and with our cats, with our horses. And so I just thought it would be a fun night for us to really talk about what we have our hands on with this technology and what this technology actually does for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute because we don't have one of the testimonies on yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually skip down and I'm going to talk about what our technology does because I feel like it's very, very important before we jump into the rest of this. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. And first of all, what we want to talk about is that this technology actually is in the world of stem cells. Okay, so this technology actually activates your stem cells. And in order to really understand the power of the testimonies that you're about to hear, what I want to first of all cover is what stem cells are. Okay, because stem cells are a hot topic, right? They're actually the master building block of the entire body. And it is their job to naturally repair and naturally renew whatever is going on in the body. And they're found throughout various tissues and various organs. And they actually replenish dying cells. So if you have awake and alert stem cells, you really get miracles because what happens is your stem cells have the ability to turn into whatever is necessary for your body to fix. Okay, so let's say, because one of our testimonies here in a minute is actually an open wound. Let's say that you go into your kitchen and burn your hand on your stove. If you have awake and alert stem cells, your stem cells have the ability to travel and triage that hand and turn into whatever is necessary for that hand to heal. Okay, so if you have an issue with an animal, same thing. They actually found in research that GHKCU, that peptide that we're about to cover, that actually wakes up stem cells, that the animal has the ability to fix its wounds. So that's why tonight I thought, you know what? Let's kind of cover a little bit of everything and everybody, and let's cover even the people that we know and love. And you know what, Kim Lafrey, I'm going to actually have you unmute. And because I know that there's somebody that really wanted to share their testimony, but they were unable to get on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you all that just to know that what you're about to see is a little bit graphic, okay? But Kim, if you could unmute and tell us what we're seeing, I would greatly appreciate it. So Kim, go ahead and unmute.
Oh, okay. Yes, this is a burn wound, and this is oh gosh, I'm sorry. It's been a day.
It's Tara's hand.
It's Terilyn. It's
Yep.
Terilyn, and this is Terilyn, Stacy's sister, and she had massive wounds. You can see on the one side where she had to have those skin grafts.
Yep.
And they are literally that big. Her hand, she could not use her hand. It was continually bleeding. She couldn't feed herself. And so they went and put the skin grafts on, and they told her it'd be at least 2 weeks before they came off, and then the graft would come off. Well, we talked this weekend, and she was talking about where to put these patches. They got them to her. And I said, well, put them on the outside of the bandage. So she went ahead and started doing that. Within 2 days, less than 2 days, all the bleeding stopped. The graft that they had put on there that was supposed to not come off for 2 weeks came off. As a matter of fact, and she was able to use her hand and feed herself. And the pain left, all discomfort left, all the discomfort left. So she went to the doctor Monday morning, yesterday morning, from what I understand, the last report I heard, and the doctor was ready to debris everything and take care of everything. And he looks at it and he says, what are you doing? She says, I have a secret. he said, well, you're going to tell me, right? She says, yes, I'm going to tell you next week. She says, I'm going to be ready. And she says, it's going to change every patient, every burn patient you have.
That is
So she is on the mend and healing and a
beautiful.
total believer now. She is a
Beautiful.
total believer now.
I'm on, everyone. Hello.
Wonderful. Hi. If
Can
you
you all?
can, if you can show your face, that would be great. But tell us quickly what happened and how this happened and how incredible. There you are. Tell us
Yes,
what happened
beautiful.
and how what we're looking at because this is incredible.
Okay, so the picture you see now is my healed donor site. And on the other side is the patch that's supposed to be on now.
Wow.
Um, I'm not supposed to be healed right now. I can eat. I can bathe myself. I got the patches. I was discharged on the 22nd of this month. I got the patches on the 26th. And just from those days to now, it has been a remarkable change in my stamina, my attitude. I'm ready to go.
So tell us what happened, what caused the issue because I know that those that because I know you weren't able to get on what did was this a wound obviously but was it a
This
burn?
is actually a home fire, a kitchen fire. The pot exploded while I
Mm,
was frying French fries.
gosh. Okay. And then
And
the doctor
I
said that
got,
this was incredible.
go ahead.
No,
I got third degree burns. My hands, my foot, and my face. My face came back pretty well. My hands didn't. I was discharged on the 22nd. It happened on September the 5th. I
mm,
was discharged on the 22nd. My left hand was better than my right hand, but my right hand was almost like destroyed. My
mm,
right hand is almost healed, and my left hand is totally healed. I don't have to do wound care on my left side at all.
gosh.
The doctors were absolutely amazed. What are you doing? I said, well, next week I'll let you know when I come back to show off my right hand. I've done my wound care today. It is healing. Um, my sore is getting super reduced. It's not bleeding anymore. I don't have to take any pain medicine. I'm actually good, and it is the patch.
Well, thank you so much for sharing because I just knew I was like, gosh, I knew that your Zoom would be able to end up working. And you know what we have our hands on is so
I got
amazing.
nervous.
And you're going to be such a blessing to so many people. So thank you so much for jumping
You're
on and
welcome.
sharing. I can't wait for more testimonies to come from you. It's
Yes,
just
ma'am, there will be more. I want to share this with all the burn victims that I know. There's 4 firefighters that we just had a recent home fire in Dallas, Texas. So they're there now. I would love to share that with them.
oh, friend. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so
You
much.
are welcome.
So that is what you have your hands on tonight. These are the type of testimonies that you're going to be hearing tonight. And it's because the technology that we have our hands on is so incredible. So I love Testimony Tuesdays because these are the nights that we get to share hope with people that really feel like they don't have hope. So this GHKCU peptide that is actually activated by the light therapy that we actually do with our own body it's just absolutely incredibly brilliant because the tissue begins to grow back, the cellular activity begins to come to play, and so it's absolutely brilliant. So back to the stem cells, when those stem cells are activated, miracles begin to happen. And so when that happens, anti-inflammation happens, your body begins to regenerate when stem cells go to work. They fight the viruses, they fight all those issues and really your stem cells wake up all the other pieces of your body that have broken down. Okay, so it's really important to understand that our technology can really help with wound issues. Okay, so the increased collagen is very important when it comes to the wound healing. which, a lot of people say, well, gosh, I need to just take the collagen. Well, when you have this technology, the collagen is actually, your own collagen is actually produced. And we're going to cover that. But that's what I wanted to start with tonight was wow, 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 what we have our hands on. Our peptide that is activated by our own body does absolute miracles. The long-term results within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's why already, Tara Lynn, she saw some miracles within the first few days. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. We're going to cover that. But within 3 months, the collagen is increased. Well, your stem cells, if they triaged, which is what happened to her body actually went to work and fixed those pieces first. So absolutely incredible, incredible, incredible. So this technology, by the time you're 30, half of your stem cells go dormant. Okay, they go to sleep. So Tara Lynn, a lot of her stem cells were dormant. By the time we're 60, 90% of them are dormant. So she had dormant stem cells. Okay, and the fewer stem cells that you have, the faster you age, the slower you heal. Okay, so that's why all of a sudden when she started utilizing this technology, even putting the patch on the bandages, we emit a frequency and this activated those stem cells. So absolutely incredible. So before we go any deeper, we actually have a nurse that's going to share what happened with her son, which is just amazing, just incredible. So Crystal, you're next. But I do want to cover quickly David Schmidt. He's the founder and the CEO of LifeWave. I love to bring validity to this company because the testimonies that you hear on Tuesdays are just they're incredible. So just so you know, he's the scientist and the inventor, and he was actually contracted by the government over 20 years ago to come up with something that the Navy SEALs could use that would keep them awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. Okay, so he actually they said, look, our Navy SEALs are hooked on amphetamines. David, what can you come up with that will keep them awake? And he said, okay, well, if it's nothing that I can put in their body, let me study the body and let me actually study light frequency and the body's response to light frequency. He wasn't the first person to do this. Okay, there were a lot of scientists prior, even hundreds of years prior, that actually looked at the body's chemical reactions to different light frequencies. So he really began to go to work, and he found that also on top of having chemical responses to outside light, he found that inside we actually have biophotons, which actually emit light inside our body. And whenever that light is emitted inside our body, there's chemical reactions. So further, he began to study, and he found that there's actually between 1 to 2 centimeters frequencies of light that we emit. There's nothing weird about that. That's how we find each other through infrared guns. Okay, is there we actually emit infrared light. Well, all beings emit infrared light. That's why we're going to talk about animals tonight too. But what's interesting is that he found that there was actually a red light frequency that we actually emit that when reflected back into the body naturally elevated adrenaline. So over 20 years ago, David Schmidt found this energy enhancer technology that when reflected back in the body, the Navy SEALs were able to utilize this technology without putting any drugs or stimulants in their body and just reflecting their own frequency and be ready and awake and alert, ready to fight for our country. Well, Stanford University got wind of it. They began to utilize this with their swimmers. Michael Phelps started utilizing this technology. And then in 2004, birthed LifeWave. So David Schmidt knew he was onto something incredibly brilliant. Okay, he knew that we had all kinds of different frequencies inside our body. So he actually began to use FTIR. And what it did was it actually found other colors of frequencies of light that we emit. But he was on a mission. And that's why you hear testimonies on Testimony Tuesday. He was on a mission because he knew that after studying stem cells, that stem cells go dormant. And he said, what if I were to be able to wake up stem cells? What if our body was able to wake up stem cells without injecting stem cells? without spending thousands of dollars. What if we could do this? And so he spent 10 years and $4.5 million. And this is why you just heard an incredible testimony from Terlin. Because this technology reflects a frequency of light back into the body. And earlier I showed you an incredible slide of the GHKCU peptide. And that peptide, when elevated, stem cells wake up. Well, this technology reflects that frequency of light back into the body, and then the body wakes up the stem cells, and then those stem cells begin to go to work. This GHKCU is known as the holy grail of healing. Okay, so between hair, skin, nails, that's great, right? But when you think about skin, you need to really think about wound healing. Think about that. So we're not just talking about great acne and great, the wrinkles go away. That's amazing. But our folks that actually have diabetic wounds that they need to heal from the inside out, not the outside in, that's what ends up happening when this peptide is elevated in the body naturally by just a reflection of frequency of light. Now, I am going to check real fast because I actually have an incredible, let's see if she's here. All right, Crystal, I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen and I would love for you to come off mute. She is actually a nurse that you'll be hearing from quite a bit. She knew that this was, she saw this, she saw the science, and then she said, Brittany, let me just try it. Then she tried it on her son. Crystal, could you unmute yourself and share with us actually what we are seeing? I'm about to share my screen what we are seeing on this video. So this might not look amazing to you all, but to Crystal, it blew her mind. Crystal, what are we looking at here? What are we looking at there, Crystal?
I go.
You there? Let's see if she's going to mute herself. She's here. She's trying to unmute.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I'm picking up my son, the one that's actually in the video. So I'm a nurse, and my son, he had a fractured hip. We didn't know that he actually had a fractured hip. I just noticed that after a game, he was trying to get in my car and he picked up his legs using his arms. And he's never done that. He's like 180 pounds, 6 foot tall, and he never ever has to use his arms to pick his legs up. So I said, well, let me take you to the ER.
The same thing. I mean,
So I
everybody,
took him to the ER, and he was diagnosed with a hip fracture. And so he's the one that came to me and said, Mom, let's try the patches, because he has a lot of faith in the patches. We were actually using them before, but we stopped using them. And then he said, well, I want to try the patches. So we got the patches, we put it on. In less than a day or two, he was like, I want to go race my sister again, because he couldn't even run down the sidewalk at our home. And he is back to himself. He's actually running. He feels absolutely no pain. The doctors are so surprised. They're like, how can he not feel the pain in his hip? And he's getting therapy. He's doing amazing. So I want to take him back to the doctors, because they're amazed at his progress already.
I love it, Crystal. Thank you. It's just so neat because, we have a lot of medical professionals that are really jumping in on this. And when Crystal said, I patched my son because he asked for it, I said, ooh, all right. And sure enough, what ended up happening, she saw some miracles and she said, Brittany, she's like, I got to impact the world with this. So that's the power of what you have your hands on. So this technology is not putting anything inside the body. Okay, it's just reflecting a frequency of light, and it's made out of salt, amino acids, stabilized water, and oxygen, and they're all mixed down. And if you see inside, like on a microscope, they're actually, it's put together as a perfect mirror. So it's made to catch just perfectly a perfect reflection of frequency, and it's made out of it's put underneath with a hypoallergenic acrylic adhesive. So It's a medical grade, so it's beautiful. So what you need to picture what ends up happening is that there's a dimmer switch inside your body. And as you utilize this technology, more and more stem cells wake up because the elevation of that GHKCU peptide. And as those stem cells wake up, triaging begins to happen. So like Tara Lynn, she's going to see a massive change over the next few weeks. She just started, right? And the same thing with Crystal's son because he was utilizing this technology. Now, for those of us that are older, and there's going to be more testimonies that jump on here shortly, what I do want you to know is if you utilize this technology longer than 6 months, it is clinically proven that you actually reverse an age by an average of 8.5 years. And the cardiovascular age of your heart actually reverses as well. And so they're seeing incredible results after the 6 months. They did a 3-year study on this because they said this could not quite possibly be as deep as we think. And it was. It actually hits you at the mitochondrial level of your body. Your body is impacted. So it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. Okay, so it reflects that frequency of light back into the body. Just like when we go out in the sun and the body produces vitamin D, we put this patch on and then the body elevates the GHKCU peptide. So nothing is going inside the body. If you have a thyroid condition like I did, you're going to utilize this technology. And eventually what's going to end up happening is you'll go to the doctor and you'll say something feels off. And chances are you might be like me and be taken off of your thyroid medication, which you think you're doomed to utilize for the rest of your life. So with that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to open up for more testimonies of people before we jump into animals, because there are quite a few animal testimonies that we're going to be hearing tonight. Anthony, I cannot wait to hear from Anthony.
Hey Brittany, how's everyone?
Good.
Hey, look, I'm gonna give you. I've like I said, I've had about 21, 22 things happen for me since I started the LifeWave patches, but I want to give you the last two, the most recent two, real quick. So, anybody know what it's like to eat cold fruit and have that shiver in your mouth? You just can't do it. For years and years, I've taken all of my fruit. If it's come out the refrigerator, I put it in the microwave for 15 seconds just to take the chill off, right? So here recently, I got some cold watermelon out the refrigerator, put some salt on it, wasn't even thinking, went to the bedroom, started eating the watermelon, and I had eaten about 5, 6 slices before I realized, wait a minute, I did not put this in the microwave. Wait a minute, this is cold. And I stuck it and ate on one side, stuck it and ate on another side. I said, oh my God, that's what it's like to eat cold fruit. I had no idea what it felt like to eat cold fruit in my life. I've always put it in the microwave for 15 seconds. That was the one thing. Now, here's another thing. After a few months, when you cut your toenails, for those who cut your toenails, my mom has to get hers done professionally, but I cut my own toenails after a few months of them growing, right? You cut them down, they grow back. You cut them down, they grow back. For years and years, every single time that I cut my toenails, my big toes, only my big toe, I would have an ingrown toenail on both big toes every single time. So for the last 3 times that I have cut my big toenails, there has not been an ingrown toenail. And the thing about it is the first time it happened and the second time it happened, I wrote it in pencil. Now I'm writing it in pen. It has happened 3 times in a row where I have not had an ingrown toenail. And those are the 2 most recent things that's happened to me since I've been on it.
I love it. So that is, y'all, this is, it sounds very simple, but if you knew Anthony's other testimonies, which are just unbelievable, it's like the longer that you utilize this technology, the more miracles are happening. So even the simplest thing that you think might be, oh gosh, that's a big deal because Anthony, I think you've been patching for a little over a year and a half.
A little over a year, just a little over a
A
year.
little over a year.
Yeah.
So all of those pieces, can you tell us your biggest miracle that happened the first time so that people get an idea of a time span?
Absolutely. So when I first started patching, August 24th of last year, I had just got diagnosed August 23rd. Okay, so I didn't know anything about the patches. I didn't even use the patches for the diagnosis, but I got diagnosed with an enlarged aorta because in April of last year I had a saddle pulmonary embolism where they took 18 blood clots off of my lungs and my aorta. And from April all the way up to August, I got weaker and weaker and weaker and worse and everything. And so I was diagnosed with an enlarged aorta in August of last year. Um, 2 weeks, they said, we're going to bring you back 2 weeks from that day, which was the 23rd, and we're going to check you to see, you're going to give you a CT scan to see what's the next step. Well, I started patching on the 24th, but not for that. I started patching on 24th for a 3-year shoulder discomfort, which was gone in 2 days. Okay, that's one thing. But after 2 weeks, and I went back for my CT scan on the 6th of September, they called me on the 10th of September and they said, this is your cardiologist's office, and we want you to know that your aorta is stable and everything looks great. That was 2 weeks.
So
X39 only. X39
only.
only. Yeah.
That is amazing. So that shows you. So as the body takes care of and it triages, it's like, okay, well, we're going to take care of this, then we're going to go all the way down to your toes. So that's just amazing. All right, Jeff.
All right, can you hear me, Brittany?
Yes, sir.
All right, my name's Jeff Anderson. I'm 67 years old. I live in Fairfield, Texas. I've been on the patch. Today actually completes my 17th month. In the beginning, I started wearing just because at my age, with everything I did, just preventive maintenance. I had no health issues, no discomfort, anything like that. What I did have was allergies and acid reflux. Within a month, my body had healed itself of both those. So where I want to go to now is recently. I'm a home inspector, and when I get on some of these roofs that are pretty steep, at night I wake up with a Charlie horse or inner thigh cramp. 2 weeks ago, I woke up with a Charlie horse at 10 after 12 at night. I was wearing an Eon on my wrist. The allergies and acid reflux, my body healed from the X39 with that. Wearing the Eon at night, and I pulled it off immediately and stuck it on my hamstring. The pain, the discomfort immediately went away. I did have to massage the tendon for about 10 minutes. It was the size of a plum, felt like it's the size of a grapefruit, but it finally went away. Last week, I woke up with an inner thigh cramp, pulled the patch off my wrist and stuck it on there again on my inner thigh cramp. And within about a minute, it was gone. The discomfort was gone and the tendon relaxed, and I went back to sleep.
Love it. It just gets better and better every time. Every time. No more allergies. It just goes and goes. Rick Wickens, are you there? He just had his hand up. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm here, Brittany.
There he is. There
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know if you can see me. Can you see
Yes,
me or
we
not?
can.
Okay, great. Sorry. So when I started first using patch, I was introduced to it 6 months ago, and I had high blood pressure. I was taking 20 milligrams for 22 years of lisinopril and a baby aspirin every day. I had broken all my bones on my left-hand side of my body in a head-on collision. Cut my elbow in half, snapped my shoulder, broke all my ribs, cracked my pelvic bone in 1986. So I had a lot of arthritis build up, a lot of pain. So I used to pop ibuprofen quite a bit, especially when the season changed and it got cold. My eyesight was 20/60. I wore bifocal glasses, and as you can see now, I don't wear any glasses. I needed them for nighttime vision. I needed them to read on the computer in small print labels. I'm happy to report after 6 months of use, I'm on 10 milligrams of lisinopril, no baby aspirin. My blood pressure is at record lows, like it was in 30s. In my 30s, I'm 58 years old. I have no arthritic pain whatsoever. I haven't taken ibuprofen or Advil or any of that for any type of arthritis pain in 6 months. Um, my hair's coming back. I had some bad sunspots on my bald spot in the back of my head, and my hair color is coming in, and the sunspots were actually disappeared. So this technology is phenomenal, phenomenal. And I'm looking to wean off my lisinopril. That's what I'm currently doing, is trying to wean off my lisinopril so I don't have to take it anymore at all. My gym performance is at about a 30-year-old man pace. I'm 58, like I said. I'm lifting weights like I did in my 30s. I'm running a Stairmaster like I did in my 30s. So I just got to say thank you, thank you, thank you to Rick Francis that introduced it to me, and Brittany Francis, because it's just been a life-changing miracle for me.
I love it. I love it. Well, there's just more and more miracles that keep on coming, y'all. They just keep on coming. So if there are any other human testimonies, I'm going to give you a minute. And if,
We have one here. I just
oh,
didn't
good.
know
Yes.
how to raise my hand
Yo, that's
virtually,
you.
but here it is.
Share
Hi,
with us.
guys. I don't know if to keep my glasses on or take them off. I'm in the midst of like, I may not need them at all. And I've been patching since December 19th. And I'm like, I'm not going to need them anymore. But sometimes I'm like, I put them on and I take them off. They're just not working right anymore. Um, I have a testimony in regards to our brand new son-in-law. We've been mother-in-law and father-in-law for almost a month now, and our son-in-law was in a collision with a coworker. Total two vehicles. Co-worker banged up, sored, went to the doctor, all that great stuff that they offer. He came home to me. And I started patching him up, right? He said, do whatever you need to do. The follow up 5 days later, this happened on a Tuesday night. By the next Monday, he went in, and the same group of physicians that assessed his coworker assessed him, and he had zero need for anything. Nothing was even suggested for inflammation or x-rays, like nothing. He was like solid. um, that has made a believer of him beyond belief. So that's one of the most powerful things, being that he had just been a newlywed, right? So a huge blessing.
And now he loves his in-laws.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing. So, and I think you're going to be sharing a little bit more as well. So, I really quickly want to talk about this because I had heard about utilizing this technology for our pets. And so my dog actually had hip issues, and so I began to patch her, but I never understood why. Well, I looked up GHKCU and how it helps animals. And this is what actually was said. And so if you look at this, it says GHKCU can help accelerate wound healing in dogs with scrapes, burns, or surgical incisions. It's an anti-inflammatory properties, may reduce redness, itching, and swelling from hot spots. Interesting, right? Dermatitis or other skin irritations. Many users also report improved coat texture, faster fur regrowth, and reduced shedding over time. So this was really interesting because we've never done anything like this where we include animals. And ironically enough, last week we announced that we were going to be discussing animals, and take a look at what my sweet little dog did. She actually tried to jump into the pool, missed, and one of our doodles, if you can see this, this is actually about an inch deep into her knee. This dog is almost completely fine now, completely. I have never seen anything like this. And it was just happened to be ironic because we were going to be discussing this tonight. And so if there was anything that made me look up what does the GHKCU do for animals, it was this. And we had seen miracles before in our organization. This is like our little miracle inbox, and I'm going to be opening it up for all of you. But this is a miracle inbox, and I started hearing things about horses and about dogs and about, but I was really floored when I started really seeing no, this for our fur pets is incredible. And then I started hearing people talk about, you know what we're saving in vet bills has blown our minds. And so I wanted to bring up a couple of our miracle inboxes before I bring up some of you all and open it up really for all of us to discuss what we've seen for our animals. But our animals are really part of our family. And so I think it's really important to understand that this technology actually is activated when you utilize this technology and you put it on your body. The technology actually activates with your heat and light, right? Well, it's actually good for over 20 hours, usually, depending on your light frequency and your heat from your body, because it breaks down that lattice and those amino salts and sugars, those break down. And so that mirror breaks down. Well, you only want to utilize this technology for 12 hours because you want your body to rest for 12 hours. So you can actually take this patch off and actually put it on your dog or your animal and see miracles. So this is Wendy. She shared with us, and I was just absolutely floored about what ended up happening with her German Shepherd. And what you see what has happened with these horses has just absolutely blown our minds. But I'm actually going to ask, I believe it's Aaron. I'm not sure if it's Aaron, it might be Casey, but what are we looking at here with this chicken?
Let me see if Kaylee, I know she's on the call. Let's see if she can share. If not, then I will share with you.
Awesome. If you can hear her, she's saying, I can't believe it's a dog. So is she on? If not, then we're going to have you share.
Perfect. So since she's not chiming in, I will go ahead. So in the chicken world, if a chicken is sick and not feeling well, the group of chickens flock, I guess, will go and attack the sick chicken. Like that's how they take them out of their misery. And so my friend Kaylee noticed that she had her flock of chickens literally trying to take out this chicken. So it was pulling its feathers and basically attacking it. So what she did is she pulled it from the flock and isolated it and started patching the chicken. And so within just a few hours of patching the chicken, she noticed the chicken was more balanced and stable. And I think she kept the chicken isolated for about a week and noticed the healing taking place. And when the chicken is wearing the patches, it is much more grounded and stable. So it's done a lot better. And this was about a month ago. So chicken's still around and the flock is no longer attacking it.
My gosh, that's amazing, Aaron. Okay, and then I know we've got a couple more testimonies here. So what are we seeing with this little dog right here?
Okay, so this is a little itty bitty guy. This is Seamus, and he is a 15-year-old Chihuahua, and he wears what we like to call his magic buttons. So Seamus knows when he has his buttons on and when he does not, because he will go and stand and demand to wear them. So whether his mom is patching or not, like he literally will demand to put on his magic buttons. So his mama ran out of patches for him and so stopped patching him for a short period of time and he went downhill. He's naturally, if you can tell on the far right, he's actually naturally crooked. So his neck, he can't turn his neck straight. He's permanently that way. But so I guess he had tons of back pain, hip pain, and was just miserable, barking and crying and panting. And so his patches arrived yesterday in the mail, and so his mom put them right back on. And within an hour, he was asleep and relaxed and slept through the night. And that was huge for him because it was literally like a switch as soon as he got his patches back.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome.
I love it. There's just so
And
many
then
miracles.
I have this one with me too. She is my 14-year-old Maltese, and she has come alive with wearing my leftover patches. So I put them on her at night, and she's gone from just being not necessarily slow, but just quiet and mellow to very bold, very active. She'll throw all four legs up literally on the floor, flying, asking for her food and running around. So, and her lumps in her chest are gone now too. So she's had her own patching wins.
I love it. So that, guys, I love it because so many people used to say, gosh, it's placebo. And I'm like, animals don't know placebo, right, Aaron? They know when they feel good and they know when they don't feel well. So I
Yeah.
received this message right here, and I'm not sure who it was. If you can unmute yourself if you're on, um, while I'm
We are
waiting.
the paw grandparents here.
Oh, yay. Okay, there they are. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I would love to hear your testimony.
So that picture is Ray. So Ray is going to have puppies by Friday. So we know that she will be having 7 puppies by Friday, and those are the Eon and the X39 that her amazing practitioner, Christy, um, Amos's mama right there, she has been muscle testing to see what her needs are, and she at this stage is testing for Eon and X39. Um, so we are keeping her healthy and calm and collected, especially that the newlyweds, right, went into their new home and she's in a new environment and she's now having all these puppies for the first time. So a lot of change has taken place with Ray. That's my daughter right in front of her asking her to pose for grandma. And Ray, prior to that, had been injured. We believe like right after conceiving the puppies. Um, and again, Christy started to do her amazing work and told us what to patch her with. She had thrown her lower lumbar out. I don't know if there was another picture showing her wearing the X39 and Ice Wave, but that I mean, you guys know Belgian Malinois are just like amazingly energetic and always moving. And she was just laid out, crying, wailing, like in pain. We started patching, and literally within 2 days, she was chasing squirrels again. So we have continued her protocol, and we believe that it's going to even accentuate, the birth process this Friday when her babies come. So we are just more than thankful, not only that she has been able to remain a holistic dog, all natural stuff, but also that we haven't had to, dip into our savings to take care of a dog when we know the cost that that could have been, because we love them like if they're our kids. So, and that's just some of the testimonials we have on Ray. But Ray is doing amazing, and it's just amazing to see, what the patches can accomplish.
That is so awesome. Thank you for sharing. I was like, who's this mama? Who's the mama dog? And so, guys, what we have our hands on is so special. So the dogs actually also reverse and age is what you see. And so, and then you can see from wounds to eye issues to birds. The answer is yes, because our bodies are made incredibly, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up for anybody else with any animal testimonies. And I would love to hear any others if you have any. And I know I got quite a few text messages. So if there are any, I would love for you to share.
Brittany,
There she is. How are you?
I am well. My dog is a mutt and part whippet. And so she should be very active, but I got her a year and a half ago after some abuse, and she was taken away from the family. And so she was quite traumatized. She would just maybe bark at people and then run under the bed. And if I took her out on a walk, it had to be a very short walk because she was hyper vigilant and it just was exhausted her. If I took her too long, the next time I got the leash out, she would run under the bed. She couldn't handle it. She never came out when men came, especially to the house. And so in June, I started patching her with my leftover patch. At first, she didn't want it. She kind of fought me and is like, "No, what were you doing to me?" You know. But now, when my alarm goes off to take my patch off, she comes running because she knows it's patch time, and she loves it. So we can take a double or triple the length of walks now. She has the energy to do it. She's not hypervigilant. It doesn't drive her crazy. When people come to the house, she will bark at them, run under the bed. But now she comes out and visits, climbs up on the couch in the middle of us, and even men. And and for the first time, she is playing. We would offer her all different kinds of toys, even a bone to chew on with meat on it. Nope, nope, nope. She'd take them and put them under the bed. And so now she actually plays. She comes and asks me to play. And she has lost a little bit of weight. She, has more energy. The other day, she actually ran after a squirrel. She has never done that before. The leash went zinging through my fingers because I wasn't ready for it. So I am just so thankful for not only myself, but for her to heal from the trauma of the abuse that she suffered.
Oh, I love it, Janine. This is so good. It's so good. Oh, I love
Thank
it.
you.
Well, guys, what we have our hands on is so unique. It's just so unique. There are so many people that need this, so many animals that need it. I love my animals. I've got 4 doodles, so I'm always going to say, pat your dog. But, from the people that in your life that desperately need this technology, the answer is it will work. So remember, the longer that you utilize this technology, the more things you're going to be able to see in you, your animals, those that you love. It's not putting anything inside your body. So my husband was able to stop snoring after 3 days. He actually is just feeling so much better. The inflammation inside his body has been fixed. And then all the way to, to what I would call an absolute miracle was he was actually spending about $1,800 a month on iron infusions because he was bleeding from his esophagus. And so we were able to stop that. And then I was able to cancel my arm surgery that I was told by one of the top doctors or chiropractors in Houston, Texas, that I was going to need surgery on. And I just got one more text message. And so I would like to just open for one more testimony because whenever she says something, it's very, very good. So Kendra, I'm going to stop sharing and actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them how to wear the patch, and then everybody hang on because I want to end with a strong testimony. Kendra, I would love for you to share in a minute. So you're going to wear this patch. You're going to put it where you need it, or put it where your dog needs it. You saw that I put it on my dog's hip. Right? Put it where you need it for patent purposes to prove that it worked, to prove that the elevation of that GHKCU peptide happened and the stem cells woke up. They selected 2 locations, one underneath the belly button for the most open point to the gut, and then on the back of the neck for the most open point to the brain. You wear it 12 hours a day. You take it off, throw it away, or put it on your dog, and then throw it away. Okay, after the dog, and then put a new patch on the next day. Stay hydrated with electrolytes. And do know that what we have our hands on is very real. There's a documentary that's coming out about our company, not by our company, but about our company because of the power of the technology that we actually have our hands on. And if there are testimonies that you're like, well, I didn't hear about stroke, or I didn't hear, the answer is yes. For everything on everybody, every single time, given enough time. Okay, so you can actually go to thisisatinfo.com and find testimonies and say, you know what about mental clarity? What about eye improvement? What about hearing? The answer is yes. So you can hear those testimonies. And we also have doctor Zooms where we have doctors, nurse practitioners that jump on and share about the technology and share why they utilize this technology in their practice, or sometimes even replace with this technology versus doing stem cell injections. So between those two, that gives you an idea of the miracle inboxes that we get and why this technology works the way that it does. It's absolutely incredible. You can wear it and you can share it if you choose to, but either way, this is how you're going to get started. Don't jump off because I really want to hear Kendra's testimony, but you can jump back in with the person that invited you or sent you this recording, and you can say, you know what, let's do this. And you can jump in at the core level that gives you 3x39s. They can mix and match different patches, but the X39 is your mama bear patch. The advanced is if you are married or if you say, you know what, I really know a lot of people that I want to impact. This is an incredible business. If you decide to go that route, if you just want the testimonies, then and you are a married couple or you have people in your family, do the advanced or the premium because it actually lowers the amount that the patches. I mean, for $3.33 a day, your life is going to change, but you can actually get them for even less than that. This sleeve actually has 30 patches in each one. So this is 3 months worth, 6 months worth, and then 20 months worth. And, really, truly, all I can tell you is if you got on here or you were sent this because somebody loves you, the miracles are going to happen. I cannot tell you enough that the miracles are going to happen. The answer is yes. So don't hold back your blessing. Don't hold your blessing back. Kendra, I cannot wait to hear whatever testimony it is because I know that you are a dog lover, but you also have your own testimony. So I'd love to hear all of the testimonies, and you look beautiful. So share.
Thank you. So I'm Kendra. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Um, we'll start off with I have a 15-year-old Maltipoo, and she had a collapsed esophagus. And that's basically where the dog's coughing constantly. I never got her on meds because I didn't have the money for it. But I actually started patching her, and within a week of me patching her, she stopped coughing completely. There would be every once in a while she would cough, but I mean, she was coughing where she was just sitting there when she was drinking water, walking. I mean, it was awful and I didn't know what to do. But when I started patching her, she stopped coughing. She also had gotten what looked like a second butthole, and it's actually where the anal gland, I guess, explodes, and it looked like a dime-size open wound. And so I put the ice wave on it. She wasn't acting like she was in pain, but I only noticed it because she kept licking herself. And then when I looked, because her hair's about an inch long, I saw like an open wound. And so then I put a brand new patch right next to it. And my daughter was like, oh, we got to take her to the vet. We got to take her, freaking out. I'm like, you know what? We're going to try the patch right now. Anyways, within a week, the wound was healed, like completely gone. And then she had a haircut appointment like a week later. And I took her to the groomer and I was like, just want to let you know, she had an open wound. I can't really see anything. So if you see anything, please let me know. And she's like, oh, did you take her to the vet? Because only with medication or anything can this stuff get fixed. And I was like, no, I just tried these little patches and I don't see a wound. Again, the hair was long, so it was hard to see. And when I came back to pick her up, she goes, there's no sign of any sores or anything there. Like she had perfect healing. So it was pretty awesome. Saved me a lot of money. And then I pet sit. And so I was working with a dog who had arthritis. And she could walk okay, but she wasn't very excited or anything like that. And I put also two of the ice weights on her and an X39. And within 5 minutes, she was jumping up and down. She was getting on all fours, trying to play with her toys, running, like just a huge difference. And again, animals can't do placebo. So there you go. And I'm going to keep patching whatever animals I can because I'm just so happy when it helps them. So, yeah.
Can you share quickly, just quickly, your testimony? Because our animals we love, but all of us need some type of miracle or know somebody that needs a
More.
miracle. And,
Yeah, so I actually have a lot of
testimonies.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of testimonies. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I've been that way for 26 years. For the last 8.5 years, I've had neuropathy because of it in my feet and hands. I lost vision. I'm technically legally blind. I get shots or was getting shots in my eyes every 4 weeks. I've had celiac, gastroparesis, meaning stomach's paralyzed. And so I have to eat processed foods. And I mean, I've had a whole bunch of stuff, but I am no longer considered legally blind. I still have not full vision, but I'm not considered legally blind anymore. So that's pretty awesome. Within 3 weeks of putting the patch on, the pain in my feet, from neuropathy was gone. 4 weeks in, I was starting to feel again in my feet. I can now walk in heels again. Before I was wearing for the last 8 years, I've just been wearing flats because of not being able to feel my feet. I didn't want to fall and walk around looking like a drunk person. But I can now walk in heels again, which is huge for me. And my blood sugars have also stabled and averaged out a lot lower than they used to be. And like I said, my vision is getting better, and I've been on disability because of my vision. And I'm hoping to get off of that so I don't have to rely on the government. Thank you to these patches. And then also I have no more gluten issues. And I don't have any more flare-ups with my my other issues either. So I mean, it's just, and I've been wearing it for a little over a year, and it's just changed my life completely. So I mean, there's so much more, but that's the gist.
I love it. So I am going to share a couple more pieces because somebody did ask some very good questions. And I always want our testimony Tuesdays to be a full plethora of knowledge. Once your body begins to fix itself, your body is fixing itself. Okay, now first of all, you only want to wear the X39 from somebody who is a part of LifeWave, from LifeWave. You do not want to get it from anywhere else because LifeWave is a one of a kind product, and it only comes from X39, only comes from LifeWave. So make sure that you don't order from anyone else. The reason why I'm saying this is because what's going to happen is that if it doesn't, if the patch is a copycat, it's not going to work the way that it's supposed to work, and you're not going to have these miracles that you're hearing. Okay, so the next piece that I'm going to say, because somebody just asked the question, well, does your body revert back? As long as you're utilizing the real X39 technology, your body begins to fix itself. Okay, so it's just the patch that's activating your body, and your body is doing the work. Okay, so once something is fixed, like my arm, my nerve, and my muscle unwrapped from one another, just because I stop utilizing the technology doesn't mean that my arm is going to turn around and get hurt again, right? Your body begins to go, your stem cells begin to go dormant again. Okay, so this technology is just activating those stem cells. And once your body begins to fix itself, then that's when you see the testimonies and they actually last. Okay, so whatever issues are causing the effect of the dogs or causing the issue of yourself, it just means that your body is fixing itself as long as you utilize it long enough. But once you stop using the patch, it's not that you revert back, it's just that your body begins to break down again in a less graceful way again. Okay, so I wanted to cover both of those pieces because what you have your hands on is extremely unique and very, very different. Do not ever do copycat. It does not work. It is not real. People will always try to say, well, I'll try to get it cheaper somewhere else. No, they're not real. Okay, so go through the person that invited you to this, but also know that as your body begins to fix, your body's fixing. It's not just going to turn around and revert back, right? Because medication, we learn, masks the issue. Our body, when our body fixes itself, is actually fixed. So hopefully that answers some of those questions that came in on the chat group. And I'm just so excited for all of you to share your testimonies on Testimony Tuesday. If you're new, welcome to the family. We cannot wait for you to come on and share your testimony. And just know that this is the hope in a little sticker. It really is. It is absolutely incredible. So with that, I pray that every single one of you has an incredible night, and I cannot wait to see you this coming week. God bless and take care.